You all know what this is. You all know what the fuck is about to go down. Also, change of setup because I actually have internet for my TV now. Hello and welcome back to Ricki's Rant, Rave, and Review. It's been like a month since I last posted something, but I meant to post a video for Infinity War last week, like what my predictions were about who I thought was going to live and going to die. Totally forgot to do that, but you know, here we are. A whole week from the movie and a whole 6 days since I saw it, and I have some thoughts. Some of them good, some of them bad. As the title suggests, we're going to go through the rant first, and then the rave, and then the review. So let's get right into it so I don't ramble for 27 minutes. But yeah, Infinity War, it sure was a movie. I'm not going to get into spoilers because, again, it's only a week out since the movie has been released. I hate spoiling stuff for people unintentionally, so we're just going to talk about, like, I'm going to hit the major plot points and major character points in this rant, and then the rave and the review, but you can be safe. I'm not going to go into spoilers. If I do accidentally spoil something, I'll edit it out, so if you haven't seen it yet, you're safe. I try to wait at least 2 to 3 weeks before I start talking spoilers all willy-nilly on the internet. But for the rant of this movie, I'm really going to hit the biggest one first, or at least the biggest one for me, that I think a lot of people have brought up already, is that the Russos, Joe and Anthony Russo, the two directors for this movie, they keep trying to strike gold twice. Because ever since they did Captain America the Winter Soldier way back in 2014, God, that was 4 years ago. Jesus Christ, where did time go? But anyway, ever since they last did that, everyone's been like, oh my God, they're the best Marvel directors of all time, even though they're not. They may be like top 3. But regardless, everyone has held them to this super high standard, and everyone keeps expecting them to crank out like the best Marvel movies. And granted, Winter Soldier was good. Civil War was not as good as Winter Soldier. I'm throwing it out there. It wasn't. Why is everyone still pretending that that was like one of the best Marvel movies? It wasn't. And then coming off of Thor Ragnarok, directed by Taika Waititi, and then Black Panther, not even a whole 3 months ago, from Ryan Coogler, it's seeing this after seeing those 2 movies, and then after seeing Civil War, it's really apparent that they're trying to pick up on a lot of the stuff that Ragnarok and Black Panther did, like in terms of tone, comedy, how they do their characters, and all that sort of stuff. So I personally think that the movie suffers a lot because there's a lot of confusion in tone. Like, there's a lot more humor in this. Like, there's a lot more humor in this than there was in Civil War and Winter Soldier, like, combined. Because it's universally agreed, those are not, like, there's comedy in Marvel movies, but Infinity War was fucking Marvel comedy hour. Like, I shit you not. They're just, like, jokes that go on for, like, almost 2 minutes that aren't funny. They take up way more time than they need to, and it makes me really wonder why they were greenlit. And like, I know why they were greenlit. It's because this is, of course, coming out after Ragnarok and Black Panther. Those were good movies. They had jokes that worked. Black Panther obviously wasn't like the funniest movie because it had a lot more serious tone, but Ragnarok definitely feels like that they saw Ragnarok or read the script for Ragnarok after they started working on this, and then they were like, oh shit, people are really gonna like this. We gotta like shove more jokes in there, and it really confuses the tone, and it made me angry at certain points. Like, there were just certain times where I would just like, I really wanted to just take out my phone and just like start like scrolling through better jokes on Twitter and Tumblr, because a lot of the jokes in Infinity War don't land and they don't work and they just go on for too long. And speaking of tone, coming off of that note, there's a lot going on in this movie, as everyone like suspected, because it's like 20 something superheroes in one movie, and it does do what I was afraid it was going to do. It tries to do way too much. The tone gets really confusing about halfway through. It's like, okay, this is a story about fighting Thanos, but also it's a story about Tony Stark trying to find himself in a certain way, and then it's like a story about Doctor Strange learning how to rely on teammates. It's a story about Captain America coming out of exile and all this sort of stuff, and it really gets jumbled and confused. Like, overall, the major story is stopping this big-ass buff Raisin from destroying the universe. But, like, it gets really confusing in the middle. Like, there are just, like, dead-ass so many plot points that they could have cut or at least made hell of a lot shorter than they should have been. And than they were in the movie. And we would literally have, like, 20 to 30 minutes of Tony doing something and then jump to Thor doing something with the Guardians of the Galaxy, and I'd be like, oh shit, I forgot that was happening, because like there's so much going on that it gets confusing at points, and I and you can forget like what the fuck is actually supposed to be going on in this movie, because there are just like certain long amount of times where they just don't show Thanos, and I'm just like, oh, is this like an Iron Man movie? Is this a Thor movie? I thought we already wrapped up your plot lines, but no. Ugh. It just gets confusing. Another thing I want to touch on before I get out of this part of the video is that it was super, super dark. Thematically, this is dark as hell. Like, one of the darkest Marvel movies ever. And I'm talking about even after, like... Shit, I don't know. I can't think of anything darker than this, except maybe Iron Man. But, like, that was 10 years ago, so whatever. Fuck. Anyway, this movie right here was so goddamn dark. Like, it was so dark that there were kids in the theater next to me, and I was like, please take your children out of this movie. It's not like Deadpool rated R, where they're, like, dropping F-bombs and making dick jokes for half the movie, but it's just, like, it feels like a slap in the face to kids. Like, the last couple of Marvel movies have felt like a slap in the face to kids, with the exception of Ragnarok and Black Panther, because, like, we all know that comics and, like, cartoons started off for kids, because it started off in the 60s, well, not in the 60s, it started off in World War II, and it was, like, comics like, oh, here's Captain America punching Hitler in the face. And then you move down the line, there's Thor. He's a Norse god who lives on a rainbow bridge, and his evil brother Loki turns people into ice cream. Because, again, this is for kids. You have the Fantastic Four, who's a stretchy man, an invisible lady, a guy made of rocks, and a giant fucking torch. Like, it took all these nice Saturday morning cartoon type things and turned it into, oh, we have to fight a space Nazi type guy. And it feels like a slap in the face to the kids in the audience. And it's just like, you do remember that the target audience for this was once like children aged 14 and younger. Can we get back to that, please? Or at least like give some of that back to them? Because I, as an adult, like, I don't need everything that I watch to be like some grim, shitty version of reality. Like, the world as is already shitty enough. Like, we have Donald Trump in the fucking White House. I hate when movies are like, ooh, it's dark and gritty because it's supposed to reflect the real world. Like, I get dark, gritty movies, but this is a fucking... You see this guy? He's a big-ass purple raisin. Why the fuck do we need a grim, dark version of Tony Stark fighting a goddamn sentient raisin? It's supposed to be for kids. Or at least, just fuck me, I hate white fanboys. They turn everything nice into some dark, shitty Christopher Nolan type crap. It's annoying. Also, Thanos, you, my man, this guy right the fuck here, I know everyone's already been saying this, but, like, literally fuck this guy. Like, his character is irredeemable. That's all I'm gonna say, is that he's irredeemable. He's not, like, Eric Killmonger type of complex villain. He's just, like, a fucking bad guy. Like, typical Marvel... he kills people, he's bad type bad guy. Like, they tried to make him complex, it didn't really work. You can see through it like a goddamn water bottle. He's not all that they worked him up to be. He's just not. I didn't like him. And now for the rave. What did I like? This movie was entertaining. It kept me occupied for the 2.5 hours that I went to see it, and then I went to see it at a midnight premiere, so I was super fucking tired by the time we got like 30 minutes into it. Didn't almost fall asleep. Didn't check my watch one time. The fights in this, pretty standard, but still pretty cool. They're fighting more aliens than usual in this, and I love a good alien fight, so love that shit. What else was good? Oh man, what else was good in this movie? Jesus fuck. The storyline itself is pretty standard. It's again, a lot more complex because you got like 24 characters in one movie, but the characters who do get to shine are Thor and Gamora, and, well, Gamora a little bit more than Thor, and even though this was supposed to be, like a Tony-centric movie, it still is kind of that, but, like, a lot of the plot-driven stuff relies on Gamora, because, she's Thanos' daughter, she ran away from him, and now she's a Guardian of the Galaxy, so it's really interesting to see that, their dynamic, although I have a lot of issues with their dynamic, but I do enjoy the fact that, like, Gamora was the driving force. She was the one that if they had taken her out of the movie, it wouldn't have worked at all. Like, if she had died in, say, like, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, which, like, she comes nowhere near dying in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, but, like, hypothetically, like, if they had taken her out in any of the other movies, or if she just wasn't in the movies at all, this one wouldn't have worked, so it was really refreshing to see that she had a chance to shine. I'm really trying to think of other stuff that I enjoyed in this movie, but like there was so much going on that low key, dumb, that I kind of have forgotten a lot of the movie, and a lot of what stuck with me was a lot of what was wrong with it. So overall, it's not the best Marvel movie. It's not in my top 5. It's not even in my top 10. No, it's probably in my top 10. It's not in my top 5 Marvel movies. I'd probably put it at like a number 7. And for a review, I'd give it maybe literally right at 3 stars. Because it does its job of entertaining you. And it does tell the story. It tells it not well, but it tells it to a degree that like you'll be able to keep up pretty easily whenever the hell Avengers 4 comes out. When are they going to drop a title for that? And I swear to God, they just call it Part 2. I'm going to shit my pants. But it sets up the next couple of Marvel sequels well, because after this is going, or after Avengers 4, that's probably going to be like the last one the last time we get to see all these characters together. So, yeah, 3 out of 5. I'd say check it out, but you know, it's Marvel, so of course you're gonna go check it out. The box office is already telling me that everyone and their fucking mom saw this movie on like Tuesday night of last week. But yeah, that's my rant, rave, and review of Infinity War. What did you like? What did you hate? What would you review? Do you think this guy's redeemable? I don't. I call him Marvel's answer to Kylo Ren, because that's who he is. Like, no spoilers, but he's Kylo Ren if he was like a little less annoying and with a little more backstory. But, you know, it's not Last Jedi bad. This is Marvel's Revenge of the Sith. That's all I'm going to say. See you guys next week.